Good afternoon, dear children. Now you will see an animated video of your English course book, lesson number 6, The Night the Elves Came.
The night the elves came.
Once upon a time, there lived a shoemaker. He lived in a cottage at the end of a village. His shoes were not well made, and so nobody bought them. He became very poor, and his wife was unhappy. He had only enough leather left to make one pair of shoes. He decided to leave the leather pieces on the table and complete it the next day. Next morning, the shoemaker went down to his table. He was shocked and surprised. There was a fine pair of shoes on the table. The shoes were so beautiful and well made that a rich man who was passing by saw them and paid double the usual price for it. The shoemaker was very happy. He bought enough leather to make 2 pairs of shoes. He cut it and left it on the table. He felt very tired and went to bed. Next morning, he came down rubbing his sleepy eyes and yawning. He couldn't believe his eyes. The magic had happened again. There were 2 fine pairs of shoes. He ran to his wife and asked her if she knew anything about the 2 pairs of shoes. She said that she had no idea about it. These pairs of shoes were sold quickly. The shoemaker and his wife were very happy. This happened night after night. Soon, the shoemaker was quite rich and happy. One night, the shoemaker and his wife hid behind the curtains to find out who was making the shoes. Around midnight, 2 little elves came creeping in quietly. The little elves worked hard all night, stitching, hammering, and making the shoes. As the dawn came, they flew out of the window singing merrily. The shoemaker and his wife decided to thank them and made little clothes and shoes for them. They set to work and made 2 neat pairs of clothes and shoes for the elves. The wife folded the clothes neatly and left them on the table. That night, the elves came creeping silently into the room. But there was no leather on the table, but a pile of clothing and little shoes, just the right size for them. The elves were overjoyed. They wore their clothes and danced and sang on the table in delight. The elves flew out of the window, never to be seen again. As for the shoemaker and his wife, they had learned to make fine pairs of shoes and could now live in comfort. They lived happily ever after.